Last time I already had a system for generating knots, and I wanted to like use the built-in, or I guess not built-in, well yeah, built-in but optional Unity spline package um to like actually draw a spline along those knots and then connect that to the collectible system. But the it just didn't it wasn't working how I was expecting it to work. It didn't support the interfaces I expected it to have. So someone in chat recommended this third-party path creator package, which was much better to work with. I swapped to it over the weekend. Um, and not only was like the default behavior like more what I expected, where if you add a point to the end of this spline, the follower component retains its interpolation parameter rather than, or retains its relative position rather, or its absolute position rather than retaining its interpolation parameter. So like, I didn't even have to do anything to prevent it from jumping. It just worked out of the box, and then it had all the interfaces I needed to support like a slightly better behavior, similar to how the Vine works, where it will like both wait on the player and go faster if the player is catching up to it. I can open up Visual Studio. I guess first I can show in game. I'm opening up Visual Studio for the first time, so Unity's like, okay, hold on. There, it's fair. You get the first time Unity before I start complaining. I did restart right before this though, so it should be in like optimal position to. If there are any sort of long-term deteriorating problems, we should be in the perfect spot. Having starting now. All right. So the sound. Oh, I muted it. So yeah, you can see it's kind of like waiting for me. There's like clumps here that aren't that great. This is more just like a proof of concept than rather than like a representative like behavior. But yeah, then when I actually start running up and chasing it, it runs away from me, and if I hit the edge, I gotta fix those edges. I thought I got most of them, but one left. So yeah, it'll keep running away from me, and it is moving along a path that is also like a reasonable-ish path for me to take, although I'm overshooting it now. Something I gotta look at with this, I think, because I'm like constantly regenerating the path, I'm seeing I'm seeing lag spikes as it spawns new segments. The long-term plan for that is just to re-roll, like roll a whole level right at the beginning, show a tiny like loading animation if you gotta, and just pay all those costs, have everything be invisible, and then just sort of like activate it. You know, enemies, you know, would probably still spawn over time, but that's it. No platform spawning over time, and the spline should just get drawn once at the very beginning. And just pay those as initial loading costs, so they're not causing spikes here. So, no, never. So, what is this doing? Anything I want to show in here? I guess I already went through like the idea of this script before, where it has like these different paths that define the knots. I did have like a block of constants here that I got rid of. I moved to at least like local function scope or consolidated them to the extent possible. So I guess the main changes here would be like something like spawn spline impl. Yeah, this. So this is a different interface. We're just doing add segment to end. It's probably is part of what's slow. I imagine I can add a batch of 4 points to the end at once. This is probably like recalculating a bunch of stuff and then recalculating it 4 times. Um, so yeah, it's an example of the type of thing that I will be looking to improve. But I was just becoming familiar with the package and implementing the proof of concept here. Um, so yeah, but just if it exists, add a point. Nice simple interface. Or if it doesn't exist, create the first one. Here I return the t of the furthest or the first not added as a result of this function. So that means you have the like sub range. Here I can show them paint.net. You have the sub range so you know where you can spawn new things. On paint.net. Loading times might as well be GIMP. Not actually though. And also GIMP, despite its incredibly long loading time, definitely a noble work to be free Photoshop. Anyway, so if like spline 1 is whatever this, spline 2 is roughly the same length, right? Let's just pretend these are definitely the same length. And our t here, because we were like almost at the end, be like 0.9. Then when we make the spline longer, this is only half now, so this would be like 0.45. And what I'm actually returning here is this. So in this ultra simple case, it's 0.5, but then I know, okay, I want to spawn a new batch of collectibles. I spawn them anywhere from 0.5 to 1 sort of deal. So that's the point of returning that value, so that I know here's the subsection that is new to spawn a new batch of things in. What else is there? Guess the follower I can show, update path follower. Okay, yeah, this looks, I would say this looks more complicated than it might have been before, but it's doing more things. Before I couldn't even get a smooth path follow. This is not only, like I said, it gives a smooth path follow by default. But this is also taking into account the player distance. I think one other thing. Oh, how it's taking into account how close it is to the end of the currently spawned path. So like if you're getting close at the end, you should move slower. And it's also taking into account how far the player is, where if the player is far away, it moves slower. If the player's catching up and almost passing it, it moves faster to try and stay ahead of the player. So yeah, and this is also probably not final. I think it specifically breaks if you like jump ahead of it somehow, and I don't think it's properly accounting for that case in the signage or like the clamping. So yeah, something else to review. So I'd say in conclusion on the spline stuff, at least if you have a similar usage to mine, I would definitely 100% recommend this third-party path creator thing for built-in package, which kind of sucks for Unity. I mean, I'm sure they don't care. It's possible I was just like holding it wrong, right? That I didn't find the proper documentation, and there was better documentation that I just didn't find, or I need to warm it up or bake it or something, and that's why it wasn't behaving how I expected. But I don't know. I figured out the third-party path creation tool just fine. Anyway, so yeah, I also did some planning type stuff, which made me realize I need to I need to do some more. That's like actually top of my list is some planning stuff. I need uh like taskification and milestones and stuff. Um I would get there eventually just doing like little bits here and there, whatever I feel like, whatever like seems like a cool thing to work on today. But like if I want to at this point where I've dedicated a fair amount of time and resources to getting this done, I should treat it like a like a real project that properly prioritizes work, to decrease risk over time, maximize feedback windows in areas where it's most relevant, shit like that. And I guess an additional concern for games that like wouldn't be a concern for my typical work would be sort of achieving visuals at a certain point such that more representative, like more final visuals could be mined for like marketing media or like I don't know, talking to publishers or something. Like ultimately, um, you need people to like be intrigued enough by that media to care enough to click it and try it out. So that's another goal to optimize for. But yeah, my sort of ad hoc, oh, here's some tasks that are top of mind. Oh, here's what I feel like working on today. Um, would work eventually, but is not the optimal path. So I really need to get some project management work done, but that seems like it would be like me looking at task spreadsheets and like writing in a Google Doc would be probably the most tedious content ever. So I tried to think of what would be like a decently well self-contained thing that also might be like on the easier side, so that I can, tackle a discrete thing, um, but still maybe go slightly short and have time to bounce over to project management type stuff for later in the night before I gotta go to bed for work and stuff. So yeah, that scope thing is background. Um, it's more evident in the boss levels. I feel like there's so much stuff in like these I feel like the main level is decently visually busy, but like still these vast stretches of nothing looks pretty bad. I don't like it. I already have tech, and I think like it's not that complicated of an idea to begin with, Parallax. But I already have Parallax components I could just plug in. I just need to what's the word? Like set up a sort of system to manage the spawning in of those Parallax objects. Um, yeah. So I might try like some overlapping hills in the bottom, like just across here sort of deal. And then eventually go to like a floating islands type thing. Um, just because on one hand that contributes to sort of like a mythical getting up really high, climbing up and climbing up type feel, and it also is just easier. Like you have to care, you have to put less thought into where you spawn a floating island. Like honestly, you can spawn it anywhere you want on screen. Um, so yeah, I don't think that'll be too complicated. I mean, famous last words. Let's find out. So the first thing here would be just to spawn a script that is in charge of like loading and spawning in these background objects. So let's start with that. Um, third, I guess I'll put it in MISC for now. I might have to do another round of script organization. I know about that. Organize scripts, assets, MISC getting busy, crowded. Anyway, this is going to be our background manager. And this doesn't even need to care about the vine, right? It can just be there. So that makes it easy as well, hopefully. Wait, why are you relaunching Visual Studio? Didn't I just have Visual Studio looking at spline stuff? I did. Oh, I guess it, whatever. I guess the first one wasn't like linked with Unity and now this one is. That's totally fine. We're gonna rename this. Okay, what does this need to do? It needs to have a sort of distance. So I'm pretty sure that distance already exists somewhere, like the bounds of the world. And I should probably just have one source of truth for that. I thought it might be in World Manager. It's not. It must be in Platform Spawner. Let's see. Platform bounds X. No. Is there like something K world bounds? Thought there was. Well, maybe I guess I can use this platform bounds rate X isn't 100% correct. It's not world manager, something. Oh, that's it. Chunk size. That's okay. So yeah, this public static chunk. This is like a unit of um spawning stuff. So these are my X bounds. Should probably pin the thing, which is background manager. Okay. So we can just drop this here for a second. Or it's platform font. You know we might need this. Yes, I need a prefab to spawn, like the most basic version of a prefab. Create an empty background fab. Put it to 0. Add a sprite renderer. We have like a square. Yep. And unlit. And 0 is like the main, I think, like the world. So it should probably be like -5 if it's the background. I'll have to review that later with interactions with post processing and stuff. But for now, let's say -5. Okay. So save that as a prefab. Your backgrounds or under platforms, I guess. It's under MISC here. I think I'm gonna make a directory. Background. Okay. Now we can delete it from the world. And in our script, we spawn one. So that is a serialized field, private, game objects. Sprite prefab. Okay. Now say private void spawn background sprites. Want to take our chunk size here. This can be X range. Then we have like a const float K background sprites per chunk. Say base of 8 and also a random. This is background sprites per chunk random. So that's 8 plus or minus 4. Okay. And then we would do something like while we'll have a position that's like current YPOS. Start at -10. And while current YPOS is less than 200. These are magic numbers, but I don't know if I'm even gonna stick to this, so it's fine. I wanna like test some things out, prove some concepts first. We'll say roll a number of background sprites. That's int, should be ints. Sprites is equal to the base plus random range negative a other thing. Okay. Now for int I equals 0, I keep fat fingering L. Yep. See, that's a pretty good prediction, right? I mean, I guess that's not the most complicated thing, but all I had to do was tap through that. Okay. So for however many sprites we're spawning, we'll roll an X position. And a Y position. We'll use current YPOS as like the bottom. So then we'll add Y range here. So but this isn't plus or minus. It's going to be Y between current POS and current POS plus Y range. Okay. Now we have our position. Then we make the sprite. Whatever we called the prefab. POS. And attorney. Clear. Let's roll a random angle as well. So we'll do between negative and positive pi. Right, if 360 is 2 pi, then negative positive pi should be only pi. FF pi. So give me an angle between negative and positive pi, and then we do quaternion dot Euler 0, 0 angle. Okay. That should work, right? Let's try it. We'll call it and start. And oh, I guess one other thing, I want to cut down on here I can show before and after actually here. I want to use hierarchies more. Just as I've done more and more stuff, I found that pattern to be way more advantageous. But here, taking a look at oh, I didn't add that component to anything, but as an example, all these buyable upgrade bases are like littering the hierarchy, where if I turn the debug sprites for splines back on, so up here I think I have a constant pool. Yeah, spawn debug sprites, it's going to be true. File that. Point is, I want parent objects to organize things better. So the oh yeah, see that's what I was telling before. Running past the spline follower messes it up. Something to fix. But yeah, you can see the debug sprites here. It's spawning a bunch of stuff. I mean, this is useful for development and stuff, but if each and every one of those debug sprites were in the hierarchy, it would litter it really bad. So you can see here, I just have one spline parent that then has spline debug sprite parent, and all that junk is in here. So it's not littering the hierarchy. So I want to do something similar here for these background objects. So I'm gonna see what I did. I'm pretty sure it's something like you can just call a spawn game object with a name. So, it'd be something like spline debug sprite parent. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, you can just say new game object with a name and it's nothing. That's what I want here. Um, on spawn background sprites, you'd say something like var background sprite parent. Set its parent to this. Can I just do that one call maybe? And then when we spawn in the background sprites, new sprite equals this. And we can say, actually, I think it's fine. New sprite. I know you can pass a transform to instantiate, but then like it's not your. I don't know the order off the top of my head. Anyway. So yeah, we'll make this as a grandchild, basically, of that empty object we spawned for organizational purposes. I should turn those sprites back. Okay. Oh, I forgot to add the component. Dang it. Should just go in the world manager, I think. Like normally it would be a bad thing to cram all this responsibility, but taking on the pattern of like child hierarchies doesn't matter as much because it's not really on loading up this parent. It's basically also acting as a folder. What did I name this? Something like background manager, and we handed the sprite, which was like background something as well. Background prefab. So much loading. 27 seconds seems like a lot. Not sure what I did. I update this. 41 seconds? I feel like I'm allowed to. I feel like it's gotten into some weird state. I mean, it's updating the status text. The minute just seems incorrect. This is the like I'm running the stream and this. I changed a boolean. Yeah, I don't trust this. I'm gonna close it and reopen it. Some kind of like race condition or um infinite loop. There we go. I guess my CPU is 99%. Just like a million Firefoxes. Seeing what's eating on my CPU while Unity's probably Unity now. I'm curious. That's right the other way. I guess OBS is eating quite a lot. Dang, it might be time to get a new computer soon. I don't keep track of the markets. I wonder if a good spot right now. Let's try again. We're at like 70 seconds or something. It's already at 20 seconds. It's not looking good. Is my computer breaking? What's happening? Because Uni's only using 10%. Must be some evil Firefox. Let's kill out all this Firefox and then I'll reopen the stream. Visual Studio holding a lock or something? Dude, I don't know. Alright, now I guess I gotta look at my version control for like suspicious config or state or lock files. My CPU still is 99%. And all these Firefoxes are just from having one switch window open. I just wonder if like is my computer dying somehow. I try resetting changes to the main level in version control. We can re-add the component. Also re-kill Unity. This is two big L weeks in a row for Unity. Look at this. Busy for 3 minutes. Wait a second. It's my fault after all, I think. Is there an infinite loop? It's like, if there's an infinite loop in start, I wonder if that could do it. I forget. I don't remember if I remember to increment that Y position. I mean, this is a pretty bad way for this to fail. Just eat more and more memory while it makes it seem like it's loading. So yeah, if it turns out that's the case, which I think it is, because that just like I just thought of that. I gotta take responsibility for that one, partially, I guess. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of like when a compiler breaks and if a compiler crashes, right? Like yes, my code is wrong, but your role in this process is to fail in a better way than this. So yeah, my most likely guess of what happened is when I actually added the object to the world, as a part of like the build process that was giving me the like hold on Unity is busy, it was like pre-calling start functions or something. Um, and if there was an infinite loop in that start function, then it would be showing that dialog forever. Again, like I feel like you can do better. Or at least just like surface a better error message, that's like calling initializing user-defined objects to make it obvious that it was failing in a part that was handling my custom code. By never actually going into game and it being a part of the like start game thing, my assumption was that it hadn't even touched my code yet. Let's fix that. Wouldn't be it wouldn't be a while loop usage if didn't forget to I didn't forget to increment and then complain when Unity handles the loop poorly. So yeah, we'll increment that, and it'll eventually escape that loop. I should just have a like while loop watchdog macro that's in like a utility header. So just I don't think C# supports macros to that extent. Um, like where you can or a complicated macros with copy and paste type idea. C++ can do. Anyway, that didn't crash, but that's also because we removed the background manager. So let's try again adding the background manager. Still shouldn't hang because we fixed our script to increment the variable. But we'll see. All right. These rotations are not very good. Because I think it must be angles instead of radians. So should actually negative 180. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's more like what I was expecting. Okay. Well, let me go make sure they're spawned all the way to the top. Yeah, I don't see any reason to believe they do not go all the way to the top at this point. So let's call that done. Uh, took longer than expected probably because stupidly inserted infinite loop and then got confused by how it was handled, but what can you do? All right, parallax to those background objects. The parallax script already exists, but we might want to adjust it. Remember if I timestamp that? Let's try again. Okay. You go to our prefab, our background sprite. We got a component. It's like cam parallax. The camera transform is the main camera, and forget how this scale works, but let's just try 0 on X and 1 on Y. It's supposed to be like not 1? Let's see. It's no. Oh, I can't. I gotta set its camera after I spawn it. Use sprite, get component, cam parallax dot camera. What's it called? Or transform. It's probably private. Camera transform equals main camera. Or like camera dot main dot transform. What's M probably? I'm never sure when to bump things to the next line and when not to. Anyway, so yeah, the issue there was I can't set like an object reference on a prefab when a prefab like doesn't exist in the world. So we need to update the script to set that object reference after the object is yeah, right? Nope, didn't work. I think the issue here is this needs to be start and not awake. Because awake is happening the second it spawns, so the code doesn't have a chance to tell it, wait, you do have a camera here. Here it is. Okay, one is they just go with you. So let's try some value less than one, right? That's the idea. I guess I need to spawn fewer though. Still over here where I save this. Prefab background. Alright, let's try 0.4. Future here will be we'll spawn it like 3 or 4 layers or even more than that. But we'll do scale, we'll do layer adjustment and parallax adjustment to get the full field of objects. But first, okay, see, now as I go up, they're only kind of following. They're still in front of the vine. We don't want that. Let's see what layer is our vine on. Negative 100. Oh wait, that's the background. That we saw. All right, it's on negative 15, so we need to hop back to, let's say, negative 20. So it's behind the vine. Although that did show the idea, right? Where you know, they were following you, but at a slower rate. That's the idea. It looks okay like this, but you really need like a range of things for it to look correct. And you probably want, you're going to spawn all the way up to the top instead of something like 0.4. You probably want something a lot closer to something like 1 is full follow, and I like a small number like 0.1. So you know you get see a wider range of things that you're spawning anyway. Anyway, anyway. So let's do some of that stuff I was mentioning about like altering these properties. Um, so we can say something like const int a front layer -20 and go all the way back to -30 for k back layer. And then we would have k front layer coef. So front means it's closer, which means it should move more normally, so it should be closer to 0. Let's just say it's 0. Um, and then the back layer coef is like 0.4, something that follows the camera somewhat. Float. Okay. And then we should also have scale adjustment. Say front layer base scale. I don't know. Front would be the closest, should be the biggest. That was probably too big, so let's say 0.75. And then the back layer base scale should be pretty small, 0.15. Then we need one other thing. It's a percent of something. I just had it. It was on the tip of my tongue. Oh, right. The const float k scale random percent. Let's say 0.2 means plus or minus 20%. Okay. You know, this is enough things happening that let's make a helper function. Something like set background properties. Background sprite properties and game objects. That there. Then this moves there as well. We'll leave, yeah, we'll leave the parenting outside the function. That's like more a part of spawning it, where this is like the follow-up setting it up. So we'll first get the parallax. We'll also need the sprite renderer. What else will we need? We'll also need the transform. We can do the scale and the transform, so we don't need that. Okay, so basically we roll a layer. Between back layer and front layer +1 because it's exclusive in the integer form. Okay, then we can get a t, which is layer minus back layer divided by front layer minus back layer. So say we roll like a 2, or I guess we would roll like a 22, right? And then the t would be 22 minus 20 over, or I guess negative 22 minus negative 30. So that gives you 8 over negative 20 minus negative 30. So that gives you 10. Is that right? Shouldn't it be 20? Why is it 80? Oh, because I get, well, oh, I see. Because back layer is small. It's going from back to front. That's fine. Just back to front. 0 is back. 1 is front. Okay. So then we say our parallax dot something scale. That also should be both. Or parallax scale dot y to layer t times this shouldn't be co-op, this should be parallax scale. Parallax scale. So layer, or actually 1.0f minus layer times back, back layer parallax scale plus layer time, or it's layer t, not layer. Layer t times k front layer. Alright. Sprite renderer star dot rendering or layer? Rendering layer? Is it called? Order in layer. Yeah. Set that. Set the parallax scale, and we also set the size. So that would be go dot transform. Or I can probably just copy this. And this to scale. Oh, I guess not. It's more complicated. You can save this into a float. Scale. Call this base scale. Go back. Front. And then we do base scale. Or I'll say something like random offset range is base scale times that random percent. And then we can say our scale is random range, negative random offset range, random offset range. Hey, pretty good prediction there. Scale, and I can do this. Oh, can't. New vector 3. Scale 1. Okay, now let's call this. All right, and we should be able to hop in game and see a couple things. You should see a variety of scales, a variety of parallax scales, variety of layers, and it should correspond the expectations. Like the bigger, closer things should, you know, have less implied distance. Okay, these low scales look very wrong to me, but give it a chance. Oh, I forgot the one thing. I forgot the actual setting the camera thing I said I had to move over. I did not remember. Parallax camera or something. Camera dot main transform. Okay, try again. Oh, those scales look wrong. Well, 7.5 to 0.5 seem. Oh, wait. To be base scale plus random offset range. Yeah, that makes sense. When you're just doing random offset range, not only is it small, it's only gonna be 20% of the base value. But it's gonna hover around 0, right? Just law of averages. This might be right. Uh, those two don't seem right. All right. This is like too much a world of extremes to be correct. What has gone wrong? Is not clear. Problem is just dump out all the scales. Just a sanity check, see if they're in like the range of values that seem reasonable. Still, it seems too extreme. This is it. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. But yeah, they're all around. See, how did this one become 0.87? A dump layer T. This should be like uniformly distributed. But I bet it's not. Or if it is, then we know problem is in between. This looks maybe better. Oh, no, 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 no. That's what I was worried about. Look at that. Only two values are coming out, 0 and 1. We forgot to cast things to float, I think is the problem. I think I like to do one of them, but whatever, for good measure. All right. So yeah, that explains why they were only huge or small, because we were only ever getting 0 or 1. Hopefully see it. All right, we already see a variety here. Yeah, I think it looks right with my like with regards to what should be moving faster and what should be moving slower. Um, yeah, you can see like I think right there shows a sort of depth of parallax pretty well. I don't know, let's turn it way up, see what happens. Just base sprites, it shouldn't be that expensive. Give me like 20, plus or minus 5. And I also want to make them a random color, I think, or like within a range of random colors. White. Maybe I'll oh yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Maybe we have to replace it with real things, but it does make it look like the background was back. Maybe they should all be like alpha, to convey them as like not that important. Let's try that. So let's just do color really quick. And we can cross this off and move whatever the next thing is. So get a random color. Yeah, I just have to look at HSV values. You look on a base sprite instead of the. So if I want like shades of yellow, what is that in HSV? It's like this be from like 30 to like whatever this is, 30 to 80, we'll say. You, yeah, so 80. And do we want to do anything with saturation? 30 to 80, what's the midpoint? It would be 30 plus 25, 55, right? Saturation, I don't want it to be like pure white, so maybe like the middle of the band. Or if we're going for more saturation, maybe 50 to 100. Like just, we can do slight. We'll do, not 50, 100, but, like, 40, 90. Alright, so they should be like yellowish, orange. Where's SR? SR.color is yellow, orange towards more saturation. Really, the color shouldn't matter that much. I mean, I would cared more about the scripting of the parallax than the actual look. It's probably gonna get an overhaul. something else. Those colors are not correct. Sure, they're not. We'll check on that in a second. What if it's in some other color space? Yeah, alright. I'm just jumping around, appreciating the parallax. Let's figure out these colors real quick. So world manager, not spline parent, background sprite parent. 0, 0, 0. Why? Oh, that's why. 0 to 1. Well, I mean, shouldn't it be white then? Not black, but whatever. So 30 to 80. They were 25. It's 255, so 25.5 we can say is 0.1. Okay, like 0.15, 80, but 80 over 255. It were 0.3, be something like 60, so maybe like 0.4, 0.35. 40 to 90 would be slightly more than 3, I don't know. 0.2. Oh, wait. This is zero, it's already 0 to 1, so it's just 0.4 to 0.9. See if that gives us colors. Oh yeah, there we go. And some of them are greener than I would have wanted, but like whatever. I'm not gonna fine tune the colors right now. It's randomly rolled colors. Some are still coming out black, which seems incorrect, but it's fine. Okay, so prove the concept. We can do this, and it's fine. That's what we expect it to do. Let's cross this off here. I have instead here, but I'm gonna put in addition. Because I think it'd probably be fine to have like multiple systems here, do like a stars or a floating things thing, and then also separate like. Anyway, create a new 2D object. Um, Empty. Just start with an empty. Call this floating platform 0. Or since we're gonna have to dynamically load this, we'll call it EGFP uh 0. I don't know if we'll need 2 numbers in the future. Just start with 1 number. So this needs a child object. I just want this to be the parent. Make a 2D tile map as its child. Yeah, dude. Platforms? Like the platform art. Oh yeah, they have their own grid, so this can too. Side of grid. Up here. This is a sibling. Pull this grid. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and make this a prefab. We'll wear a background. Folder, tile maps. This in. I can open it in the prefab editor view, where it's, I think, a little bit easier to mess with the tile map. B maybe. Where's my palette? Oh, it's loading. Okay, so let's just make a basic footing platform here. Damn, I wish I could know where 0, 0 is. So annoying. Actually, you know what we'll do? Create a quick helpful sprite. Okay, that's 0, 0. Wait, is it? Yes. I don't know why I can't center on 0, 0. Oh, I guess it's off by half. If I do... Shh, that should be centered, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's 0, 0 for a guy. So maybe we shouldn't even go up one. Corners here. Okay. Just give it like a tree. Oh, I'm gonna have to switch to the transparent versions, but should be fine for now. Get rid of our big square. Okay. So first, oh right, we want to dynamically load these. So let's take a look how we do that for platforms. We have these just arrays based on these counts. Where I mean, this is what I really care about. Just the boilerplate syntax to dynamically load a prefab at runtime. So let's hop back over to our background manager guy. We'll have a new helper function down here that is private void load dynamic prefabs. I lost my copy. Copy. All right, let's just comp that out. I just want it as a reference. Okay. So first we'd have something like k num loading. Maybe I'll call it fi, floating island. I do want to like distinguish it from platform. So we'll call num floating island just 1 at this time. And I think I can get rid of BG as well. Background is applied by its position. Background. Right, so it's just fi0. So copy this. Instead of platforms, it's background tile maps fi. Or and I equals 0, I less than k num floating islands plus I, yeah. That path is this plus I string. There's syntax for this, like the $, power sale. I guess I wouldn't have it because it would have debug print. So I'll do that after. I should learn more C# stuff instead of like the bare minimum to get my logic across. Anyway, I have a prefab path, so let's go ahead and load prefab. Oh crap, that's a helper. I have to take a look at that helper. Video unload prefab. I don't know if this should go through spawn data manager base. Just gonna copy it for now. Actually, yeah, I think in the current state, I'm just gonna add a note. From spawn data manager base, not worth linking up to that interface now, but when add more types of background stuff, might care about like spawning level appropriate things where spawn data manager base infra could. That should be in like it's just a util.h, like a lot of things. It's just like it's not even really doing anything. It's just also doing the cast and returning the thing. But I don't need the thing, I don't think. Um, Come here. Oh, let's bring in resources specifically. Not. Oh, it's so annoying. This. Must be system out. It's so annoying. It's autocomplete. Except in, oh, no. All right, whatever. Yep, yep. Oh, you should delete that from the main level. And should call load dynamic prefab. Come on, dude. Sometimes it gets too smart. Can't hit tab. Have something like spawn floating islands. Uh, bu- bu- Here, if I should just where to make this helper. I probably still want the parallax stuff and the scaling. Maybe not the rotation. Yeah, let's helperize this. So it'd be something like private void spawn background objects. Yeah. Well, let's think. Object impl objects impl where it can take say not sure the best way to share this stuff. Maybe we should just, I guess this helper here doesn't care at all. We can just use the same helper. This, well, no, it'll be a tile map render instead. We say, can I just do something like, I'll just cut that out. So, parallax move here. And up here for SR, we say if SR, do this. Whereas we expect to find a tile map render instead. Okay, tile map render instead. I think is it still just sorting order and stuff? Oh, they both implement renderer. So why don't we just do renderer equals, right, renderer? We do SR and then var renderer equals SR equals null. SR is null. Then get this. Else we just use SR. And then we can just get rid of this. I mean, hopefully this renderer also implements color. It does. Oh, no, it doesn't. Bummer. At that point, there's no point in this common path. We can just say if SR this. Right, and then else. That finger all the time. This. There. It's less compact, but same thing. Okay. So now our implementation function can handle a tile map or a sprite. And some of this might be the same. I think a lot of it will be. That's okay. Dude, so much of this is the same. Is it okay? Rename this set background object property. But question is, can we share this? Can. Let's rename this background objects. I changed my mind. Should be spawn background sprites, but we should move common thing. Background objects. What do we need that's unique? We need X range, I guess. Well, no, it'll always just be this. So we need well, I remember my problem with this. Problem with this was that I don't know what object I want to spawn. I'll be choosing from an array of objects. I have to do the choosing in the caller. So I guess I just need to pass a game object first, but that means it can't handle the counting. The caller has to handle the counting. So I guess we pass a start Y. End Y. And just I guess like a bool state. Okay. So this stays. This stays. Well, it's really just this then. Grab this. Okay. This. Part Y. Y. And here we add a little that angle. Else we do identity. Back a bit. Let's go. I guess parent. Well. So we do alright. Anything else? Call this helper. Set background properties go. Alright. Now we can get rid of all this. I feel like I could even helperize this. Worth it though? It is. Right. I can't because I won't know the object. I keep thinking, oh, helperize help, but I won't know the object ahead of time, so I need to pass the object. So like at the point of picking objects, I need to. So we'll be copy pasta a bit, but that anyway. Call our helper here. At least we put some of it. Fab is and background object or something. Parent is background sprite parent. Start Y is current Y pos. Y is current Y plus. Oh, I could just pass an array. That's the way. Let's finish this call first. Like range Y or something. Y range. Rotate true. I'll show you the one. Anyway, we can have private void spawn background object. We do game objects array objects. And chunk per chunk base per chunk random const float k start y is -10. Okay, end y is -20. Sorry, 200. Save the y range. That's the indent in a second. Actually, add the addition right here. What else? What else? Should be. Okay, instead of 200, we do start y and end y. Okay. Some things is this. Objects. And here we say objects are prefab equals objects that length. Actually, I don't even need to. I can say objects. Random dot range 0 objects that a random object from the array. Oh my god, I have to do the engine. Okay, that's the prefab over. I guess we need the parent. And also to there, it's sufficiently helperized where we have okay. We call our thing background objects. Can I just do one that has an array? Oh, does it? So can surprised that works. I'm just gonna call this parent. It's clear from context. Same deal here, clear from context. True. Okay, no, it didn't let you do that. That's fine. We'll just do game object. Tabs. to rename that parent. All right. Yeah, let's do 2 tests. First test, hop in. You make sure the sprite stuff isn't broken. It should still be called to the best of my knowledge. We don't have an info loop. All right. Yeah, I was looking in there. Yeah, it looks like we're good. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any indication anything's broken. Looks good still. All right, let's try floating islands though. The idea is we'll have to copy pasta a tiny bit. Where are we loading these prefabs into? Nowhere right now. So we're gonna need an array. Private name object m island prefabs. And in our load dynamic prefabs function, say new name object, okay, and I'm loading islands, and then we say m island prefabs at I load. I think we need this anymore. Yeah, now we don't need this. It should be called island parent. Spawn thing. Okay. Spawn background sprites afterwards. Spawn. What happened? Something crashed. Um, says all. Oh, we didn't put parallax on that prefab. There. UCam parallax. That should be. Anything else that has the spread? Oh no, this is not correct. But in a way, it shows the right idea. Maybe this is what the final level looks like. Wow, this is just confusing to look at. I'm gonna take a screenshot. I think this is funny. Okay. So, oh, we put true for the rotation, and we have like 20 as our numbers. We want way fewer, like 4 plus or minus 2, and no rotation. Save that screenshot though. Okay, so what do we expect to see? Same-ish idea, much fewer floating islands. They're still rotated. Why? I put false. Oh, I put false for the background sprites, and I did fewer background sprites. I modified the wrong thing. Let's modify the right thing. You say like 4 plus or minus 1. Say 3 plus or minus 1. No rotation. I get this clipped. He's done it, beat me, but I found the corner. Back to Unity. Did it crash? Oh no, it was just recompiling domain. All right. Yeah, we got this is pretty much what I intended. Except for that pesky. I guess there are two aspects of this. For starters, we probably need a different set of scale parameters. To just even like allow a narrower, because like this can't be. It needs to be more in the background, but that also means it will be scaled down smaller and have these sort of like scaling problems like this guy. Maybe you have to make them bigger, but make sure they spawn, like give them a different layer range. Probably way too many of them as well, even only at this rate. Yeah, so this is definitely a little confusing. But what I wanted it to do. I think I just need to add some more parameters to this. Um hmm, this isn't the common path. That's pretty annoying. Uh Maybe I can just branch here. Um Something like this. Actually, let's say constant K tile map layer offset. I don't like this that much either. Well, let's just see. You can say layer equals mathf max k back layer layer plus k tile map layer offset. There, that should make it so it can only spawn in like the back half of the range. It has to be smaller. Maybe I should just use like one of the tile maps I'm not using to make it like really obvious that. Oh yeah, see these boys get too small. What if I make this a bunch bigger? Does that help with the scaling problem? Like one, two, yeah, something like that. Further on the other side, like that. Put in the corners. And fix this bit. And just add some other shit. See if that works. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. But, I don't know. Making it, maybe it wouldn't be as bad if it weren't for, the, like, background cutout. That's definitely making it worse. I still think the scaling would be a problem. I might need to, like, make, upsample versions of these that are just bigger. Yeah, I could just maybe, like, re-import the tile map and, re-import the tile map and, what's it called? Oh yeah, see, I don't know. As you get up to the like the top bits here, where it blends in more, it does look less bad. It's still, yeah, it can't be scaled that small. So maybe should just have like very restricted range. I don't know. I don't think this is something to revisit. Adding like a bunch of coefficients here, a bunch of like fudge factors is not the way. Um, but our goal here was like dynamic resource loading, which we have an example of, but we should make like 2 or 3 of these boys, just make some slight changes and ensure it's, spawning them randomly, loading all the prefabs, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and duplicate our FI0 here. Wow. I mean, I guess it is asking a little bit much, hoping it would automatically be named FI1. Um, instead of FI01. But it lets you pick the thing, I guess. Um, I wonder if it lets me like do a regex or something to have a custom naming convention. I know it gives you at least like a couple options. Um, tree. I don't know. I really shouldn't like the extent to which these are temporary and just for testing. I really shouldn't waste too much time. I just need them to be like very clearly distinct. So, uh, there. Um, that's cool. This is our FI1. Duplicate this for our FI2. Let's try an entirely different color. Which hopefully I can reskin quickly. Corner, corner. So yeah, I'll probably have to do, oops, wrong one. I'll probably have to do some more thinking about like what I want the progression to be thematically with my plan for levels. But my main goal here is to just like set up the tech. Once this stuff is all set up, all I have to do, like you're seeing here, this is the goal where I just add a new prefab, decorate it, and it'll spawn it in randomly. Might need more levers in the future, we'll see. But I think 3 different options is enough to test our system. They say 3 is like the generalization point, right? And in fact, I am only seeing 1. Oh, I remember why. Because I don't even know if you can, and it's probably a bad idea to just like load everything in the directory or like count up the things in the directory because I don't know. So it is saying at some point here in like the load dynamic, yeah, I expect there to be 1, now I expect there to be 3. I mean, like, probably want that to be const. Um, it's an allocation. Yeah. I don't even know what the path APIs are. Did the path APIs work in deployment? It's like the sort of overgeneralization you don't need to do. All right, yeah, we can see because we got yellow boys that it definitely is spawning in different types. There's type 1, type 2, type 3. Cool, so all 3 types are spawning in. I just want to jump up to the top, see if they all improve when we get to the point where the black background is black and it kind of blends in. Dang, fell down. Make it. Yeah, I got plenty of time here. Although it does accelerate, so eventually it will get me. I have 172 coins. I could buy everything in the shop. Yeah, I should. What's going on in the shop? I haven't tested you in a while. Do you still work? Got a shield, more health. Just buy everything. I come out. Oh, we bought everything. Good customer. Bought like 20 items. Oh, I got the gravity feather. It's weird. I am super jumpy though. On fast. Super fast during combo. What was I doing? What was I testing? Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, the backgrounds. So yeah, we got one there. It looks okay. Yeah. We'll have to clean up those prefab, but the system is solid. The system works. So we're gonna say this is done. So reset my thing. I think maybe we try this, but not this. Let's see if we can make a big hill type prefab. Well, how was that gonna look? Let's try. Let's just try. Um, just duplicate our FI, call it BH for background hill 0. Oh, let's not. Let's duplicate the green one. H 0. So I guess the problem is needs to go down like basically forever. Unless they're being layered pretty well. I don't know. Let's just take it way over. That's erase this bit. If it were transparent, maybe that will be the way. If it can just be the top of the hill, that can maybe blend into the background better. We'll see. I'm not sure how this like will sort of mesh. Let's just try just the hilltop, but it's very wide. Okay. Go to our load dynamic prefabs. We have a background hills. Start at 1. Wait, did I cross off this? Oh yeah, I did. And let's add a similar array. background hills. It's still under tile maps. It's just gonna be BH instead. Okay, let's see how sturdy our helper functions are. I think I need to pass these in, cause well, let's see. Just curious what this looks like if I just treat it like anything else. Let's just copy spawn bloating items basically. I think ultimately we may need like a struct that also like has acceptable scales and stuff. I don't think there's like an awesome answer at this time to the like pixel art scaling problem. So I'll have to think about that. Background, or not background island, background hill parent. Hey, it knew the correct replacement there. All right, I think we're good. We just need to call it. But I don't think it's gonna be this simple, unfortunately. Let's get a look. One second. Oh, my phone fell. Dang it. I was hoping that wouldn't happen. But the game loaded. Alright, yeah, our background hills do not look correct. If we make them, we make this auto tile, is that a thing? Tile maps tile. A repeating tile? Hmm. So, at least I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I don't know if I can set like a wrap mode. Basically, I don't think a tile map supports that type of behavior. I can just make it like a way huger. But basically the idea is what if I could have this repeat? No, I could just bring it in as a sprite instead. Maybe that's the way. Not this folder. Right. Yeah. And I just grab this. I can just grab the whole thing. I know for sure I get 16i. And I know this is a multiple of 16, so I wait, 79. Oh, I missed the edge. Dang it. All right. So now I just subtract 32, 48. Oh wait, not that though, this. There, that cut off the edges. I have a perfect selection of the middle. But actually I kind of want can I make like a little hill here? So if I want let's say I put 2 more on each side. I need plus 32 plus 30. Wait, so I do need the corners. All right, so I need this much plus 1 more on each side. So that's plus 32 or 1, well, and then we get rid of this. Then back here, take this, think, right? Flip this upside down. Then make this twice as tall. We just wanted to go 1 more in each way. Oh wait, but it shouldn't be. We only want the top was the idea, right? Okay, so we just deselect our corner. Too tall, but it doesn't matter. Oh. Flip our corner. Then we just put the interior corners and dye the rest of it the same color. So interior corners are here. What ones I need? Top left. This one. Dang it, I guess wrong. I always mess that up at least once. Well, I know it's one of the bottom two. I'll just grab both. Then I can grab one and invert. Alright, which one are you? You're this one. I don't know why. I'm not an artist here. Just trying to test a slightly different implementation. Let's try this. Save as not repos. None of these. Guess I have to go from repos. Wow, look at all these repos. Or I think it's actually game dev, gems, brackies, assets, graphics, sprites. This looks wrong. Must be 2021-2. Yeah, this looks more right. Graphics, sprites, Vine, or I guess it's not really plants or Vine or platform. Is there like a MISC? Hill, tileable hill. Instead of a tile map, we add a sprite renderer. Tileable hill. We need to go set like the pixels per unit on that. Like 16 or something. Let's try turning off compression, sure, but let's leave it on bilinear. Maybe that'll help with it being scaled small in the distance. And then, oh wait, this doesn't tile? I messed it up. It needs a tall instead of a corner. My bad, my bad. Set. Not perfect, but that's okay. I just want a rough idea. Now it's tileable. Something like 5 and be unlit now until we get those lights in. Switch it from simple to tiled. Cool. Telling me I should change the sprite type. Okay, there we go. Yeah. There, and it can be like even 200. And that's fine. Let's try with this. It's designed to handle either sprites or tile maps, so it shouldn't matter that I swapped one for the other. Yeah, that doesn't it doesn't really look good. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I think the answer to hills looking okay is the same answer to, or is a similar answer to scaling problem. I guess in the distance they do look a bit better, but in general, I need a better idea of how the background objects will mesh into the like background color. It might need to be like, I don't know, shader graph of some kind. Um, yeah, so we gave it a try. I don't like how that worked out. Just gonna comment it out, potentially revisit it. But I think the islands and the specs are fine if they're gonna be like stars or something. The specs definitely work to give it depth. Um, Maybe I need to create a variant that is slightly off. Um, Plus the background thing to give it a greater. I mean, yeah, I think this looks fine to just like give something in the background. It definitely feels less empty, though. Pretty placeholdery. Uh, it's okay. Uh, you know, Tweaking isn't really a good immediate activity. I just really want to set up the tech so that now it is in a state for the future where I am, able to tweak it and just see my results manifest immediately. I will point out that this build only said try grounded. So we did try it. It didn't look too great. Animated elements like fake enemies, they're going to be an even smaller portion of the sort of like tiny background object. So again, this has the scale problem. Parallax, pixel art scale problem. Scaling small makes pixel art look bad. Maybe huge versions for background or more specific scale parameters. Maybe a separate version that is bilinear filtering. Lots of options, but need to find some solution. Squo doesn't look good. Oh, and I guess I should add the note from the beginning. Review, spline, impl, probably pretty wasteful. Don't need full loading now, but what's it called? The lag spikes are annoying during testing, and there's almost certainly some pretty low hanging with regarding respect to spline spawning. Okay. So yeah, let's I'll jump through one more time. sort of thing. So dang, I still used up all the time. I guess that's getting stuck on an infinite loop. Being confused by Unity's reaction to that ate a lot of the time. It's okay. We set up the sort of pipeline to allow these types of background objects, parallax properties, and scale and stuff that is like linked to their implied distance. Definitely makes the background a bit less boring, though it's just like it's too messy. It's not good as is. Especially the lininess of the the pixel art that's far in the background that's scaled down to be small. Doesn't look very good. But I think this does set up a foundation for something that could look good. And I don't know, even looking bad, I don't even mind it that much. I kind of prefer it to the constant background. And I bet that'll be even more true when I get rid of the blockiness of the being like wrong color. You know, I say that as I notice it now here with the sort of as the background gets black and it blends in better, it looks a lot better. But you know, definitely to improve there. Uh, Next week, not sure what I'll be doing on stream. 'Cause like I said at the top, the primary focus here is going to be doing some project management stuff to better prioritize the work and make it less wishy-washy, less like based on a whim, you know. So yeah, I don't know that I will have something cool to show next week. It might just be a very dense Trello board. Um, Maybe I'll share that. I don't know. I can sort of go over what all the planned content is. If I really do have like that complete outline. Hopefully I'll have time to do at least one other gameplay or visual thing. I'm gonna put if time shop and upgrade. UI still need to get done, and visually want to spread post processing to more levels and start adding lights. So yeah, maybe on a gameplay wise, improving the shop could be one thing I do, and on a visual wise, adding post processing to the main level could be cool. Although since post processing has a cost, this fixing lag spikes will probably be pretty important. I can't just be piling more costs on there eventually if I can't just like put off optimization forever. If it's actually slowing down my ability to develop. Yeah, anyway, it's a bit of a low stakes, relatively easy thing that only got slowed down because of my dumbness today. Thanks for tuning in. If you did, check me out on the social media stuff and have a good night.